Y'all ready for this? Welcome to Sports Kid Drama Kid. I'm Jim. I'm the Sports Kid.
I'm Andi. I'm the Drama Kid.
Welcome to 2025.
Yeah, day one.
Day one. It actually is day one.
It is
We're
day
recording
one.
this for you on New Year's Day.
We don't even take federal holidays off.
My bets are already in on all the college football games.
Oh, good. Thank God.
So I won't need to worry about that while we're recording.
My bet's also already in, which is that I'm not going to watch.
I would take that bet. So, yeah, how you doing in the start of this year?
I'm fine. Over the years, I've stopped caring about New Year's and started trying to treat it just like the next day.
Same. Hard same.
Because we put all the stuff on New Year's. It literally is just the next day.
Yeah.
So I'm like trying not to.
Especially this day and age.
Yes,
it's
exactly.
So much going on that a simple change of year doesn't really change.
I know.
Much.
I'm not making any resolutions. We didn't do anything last night. I'm just like, I have to write a different date on my rent checks and that's it.
Yep. Which we have to do.
We do. We have to do that as well.
Well,
everybody pay your rent.
Pay your rent. Okay, so Andi, today we're doing an episode that was requested by one of our patrons, Ruby.
Amazing. Yes, thank you, Ruby.
This is The Curse of the Bambino.
Oh, nice.
And The Curse of the Bambino is a curse. Andi, do you know about it?
It is a curse. I have heard of it.
Okay, what do you know about The Curse of the Bambino? All details are acceptable here.
Okay, so I'm aware that the Bambino is Babe Ruth.
Yes.
I know that from the movie The Sandlot. I'm the great Bambino.
I'm the great Bambino. What? I'm the great Bambino. What? I'm the great Bambino. Oh.
I believe if I were to make a conjecture, it is. Oh, I don't even remember which team it is. Is it the Yankees?
That's part of it.
Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna say what I think. Babe Ruth played on the Yankees and he was excellent, and then they were good, and then they didn't win for a long time after he retired is what it is.
The Yankees?
Yes, the Yankees. I mean, I'm just gonna say the Yankees because I have no idea what team.
Okay,
Dodgers?
okay.
Was it the Dodgers?
No, keep going. Keep guessing.
So Babe Ruth was on the Yankees. He could do it all. He was a triple-double whatever threat. He was a triple-double threat. That makes sense.
No.
It doesn't?
For basketball.
Oh, damn it. Triple-doubles, not baseball.
Oh, my God. We're starting a new year. Andi has come no further.
I told you I don't treat the new year like anything special.
You actually have come a lot further
thank you.
in sort of like sports knowledge.
That's really nice. A triple is something in baseball.
Yes. Okay, we're not getting anywhere here. So
no, he was really good. And the curse is that usually the curse of a team is that they're not winning. So I'm assuming that after he stopped playing for, I guess, the Yankees, they stopped winning for years.
So you got some little parts of this right. Teams are wrong. Things are wrong.
Okay.
And we'll clarify all of that.
Great.
In this episode.
Amazing.
So, Andi, I didn't think that I'd be starting an episode about the Curse of the Bambino in Peoria, Illinois.
Oh.
But it turns out I shouldn't be that surprised that our main character today, or at least one of them, comes from Peoria.
Okay.
That's because a lot of famous people actually have come from Peoria,
Interesting.
including Dan Fogelberg, singer. He was like a singer-songwriter.
Okay.
Bruce Johnson of the Beach Boys.
Oh.
Comedian Sam Kinison. Tammy Lane, Oscar-winning makeup artist.
Oh.
NBA player Sean Livingston. Ralph Lawler, the LA Clippers announcer for 41 years. Comedian Richard Pryor.
Oh.
And last for emphasis, Betty Friedan.
Okay.
So Peoria.
Yeah.
Not that small of a place.
Disproportionate amount of people of
note.
Varying levels of note and accomplishment, some more than others.
Hey, come on. Ralph Lawler, the Clippers announcer for 41 years.
Yeah, let's put him up there with Betty Friedan.
I think we should.
Okay. All right.
Okay. All right. And that's only a few highlights, honestly, but one that we're going to focus on today is Harry Frazee. Andi, do you know anything about Harry Frazee, that name? Frazee.
He sounds like maybe a character on Sesame Street.
Which kind of character?
Harry Frazee. Maybe he
He's definitely one of the humans, right?
Yeah.
Like one of the human neighbors.
I think.
Or is he a puppet?
I was picturing puppet.
Okay.
I think the name Frazee made me think puppet.
Gotcha. Okay, I didn't think that you would know much about him, but that's fine. I didn't know Peoria produced so many great Americans until right now. So Harry Frazee was born in Peoria, 157th largest radio market in the country.
Okay.
In 1880. He dropped out of high school at age 16, Andi, to do what?
So he was born in
Peoria in 1880, and at age 16, he decided, I'm not going to high school anymore to do what?
This is wrong, but the first thing that comes to mind, just because it's old, anything before the 1900s, I'm like, old-timey. I'm like, he dropped out of high school to, use that stick and hoop game to play stick and hoops.
To be really good at stick and hoops. No, so he learned the theater business.
Oh, no way.
At a local theater. He also
Wow.
began managing a barnstorming baseball team. Don't worry, I had to look it up.
Okay.
A barnstorming baseball team refers to a team that travels to different towns or regions to play exhibition games, often against local teams and traveling teams. These games were typically informal, not part of the professional league, and were especially common in the early 20th century. It was kind of like Savannah Bananas before Savannah Bananas.
Believe it or not, I've actually heard of barnstormers.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you've said about as much as I had heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's baseball for the sake of putting on a show and or sort of competing against the local team, letting them usually probably beat the crap out of you.
Yeah.
Or it's not a real game, but you're making money for showing up.
The Savannah Bananas really confused me the first time they came across my feed.
Oh my God. Same, honestly. Because you're like, wait, is this baseball or not? And then you realize it's like WWE baseball. It's like a show.
Yeah, but it's also there's a Magic Mike element to it as well.
There
They don't
is.
strip, but they dance while they're all out on the field before they pitch, and they're doing body rolls, and they're a bunch of conventionally attractive looking men, and so I couldn't help but be like, I'm sorry, have I taken too many edibles, or are they not playing baseball?
Yeah, exactly. They're not playing baseball. They're doing dances and stuff, but people love it.
Yeah.
They're selling out baseball stadiums. They're more popular than baseball.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, listen,
yeah.
do not ever underestimate the power of a bunch of seemingly heterosexual men dancing in unison. It really does something
It
to
does.
people.
So, Andi, Frazee is learning sort of in Peoria the basics of theater. He's barnstorming, doing theatrical baseball, basically. And then where does he move?
Probably somewhere else in Illinois.
He does. He goes to Chicago first because it's the next biggest place where he can, grow his theater reputation.
Sure.
In Chicago, he had his first big hit called Mahoney's Wedding, a play that earned him $14,000 in 1901, which translates to about $270,000 today.
Okay.
Off of Mahoney's Wedding. Mahoney's Wedding sounds like one of those sort of live events you go to where you're in on it.
Tony and Tina's Wedding was the most popular one of these. There also was one in Chicago called Finnegan's Wake, which I believe was supposed to be in... Is that coming up?
No, that's just what this sounds like. But I'm sure this was just a regular play.
Yeah. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe they made everyone think they were at an actual wedding. And
I don't know. So by his early 20s, Frazee produced a number of hits in Chicago and built the Court Theater and became a theater owner.
Oh my God. The Court Theater is a big deal.
I was going to ask you, do you know about the Court?
Yeah, that is one of the big theaters here in Hyde Park. Yeah, they're one of the bigger deals in town.
Wow. Okay, yeah. So Frazee built that theater. At age 30, he set his heights higher. And where do you go, Andi?
Minneapolis? I don't know.
New York City.
Oh, duh.
At this
Obviously.
point.
Yeah.
So
he wants to be a little Broadway baby.
He got right to it when he moved to New York, producing a major hit called Ready Money, A Pair of Sixes, A Full House, and Nothing But the Truth.
That's the full title?
No, A Full House and Nothing But the Truth are two different shows.
Okay,
Sorry.
but Ready Money...
and A Pair of Sixes were two other shows.
So the shows were... Well, hold on. All the shows were named after poker?
I guess I wasn't really looking into what he was doing here because these were early productions.
Got it. I got it.
But I wanted to take a little detour on Nothing But the Truth.
Okay.
So this was made into a movie in 1929, and the story was based on a novel by Frederick S. Isham that he wrote in 1914.
Okay.
Again, in 1941, they made this into a movie, this time starring Bob Hope and Paulette Godard.
Okay.
The whole 1941 movie is on YouTube. And here's a little clip from that movie. This movie was again remade in the 1990s and is a popular movie of our childhood, Andy.
It is?
So I want you to see if you can figure out which movie that might be from this old clip. The stories aren't exactly the same, but the ideas for the movies are similar.
Okay, so the 1990s one has a different title.
Different title, sort of different thing, but like similar concept.
Okay.
I might as well get packed, fellas. Come on in. Hello?
I'm just finishing.
Say, how much do you pay for this apartment?
$125 a month.
Are you behind on your rent?
Yes, 3 months. Do you mind if I,
I'm sorry, Mr. Bennett. I'll get right out.
No, go right ahead with your work. Steve, did you ever tip this young lady? Did you ever try to get cute with her?
Oh,
Oh, now, fellas. Fellas, let's be gentlemen.
Did you?
Well, if you want to count that once.
well, of all things.
Fellas, you can't do it. Hello, Sam. You know, a bet's a bet, but you can't go around embarrassing me like
We
this.
can't for the next 22 hours. This is only the beginning.
Okay, so do you have any idea sort of like what's happening there?
I mean, I have a guess, but I'm like pretty sure it's wrong.
So, okay.
Do you want me to tell
Yeah,
you?
guess.
Is it made in Manhattan?
It's not. So what's happening here, the title of the movie, Nothing But the Truth.
Uh-huh.
He can't tell
Oh, is
anything.
it Liar Liar?
You know why I pulled you over?
Depends on how long you were following me.
Why don't we just take it from the top?
Here goes. I sped. I followed too closely. I ran a stop sign. I almost hit a Chevy. I sped some more. I failed to yield at a crosswalk. I changed lanes in the intersection. I changed lanes without signaling while running a red light and speeding.
Is that all?
No. I have unpaid parking tickets.
It's Liar Liar.
All right.
So yeah.
The reason I thought Made in Manhattan was because they were in a hotel and he was flirting with the maid.
No, so like it's the general idea that like someone can't tell a lie.
Can't tell a lie. I
And
see.
so like that sort of general plot device, even though for the Nothing But the Truth movie he was like blackmailed, but it's like a similar sort of
Yeah,
concept.
I see. That's really funny.
Made its way all the way up through, which is kind of funny because you see that a lot, especially in the era of constant remakes.
Yes.
Everything is just derivative of something, even if it's like a take on it.
100%. And we tend to sort of like, that makes us like revere it of like, oh, it's based on like an old classic thing. And like sometimes that's
Cool, and
Cool,
sometimes,
and
we want you to
sometimes
just come up with something new.
exactly. Yes.
Yeah, okay. So back to Frazee. He also revolutionized the idea of Broadway touring companies. He didn't necessarily invent the concept. However, he was the first one to put a Broadway show that was still in its prime on the road. Frazee's decision to tour hit productions like Ready Money and A Pair of Sixes proved immensely successful, making his productions financially profitable. In NYC, he built the Longacre Theater in 1913 using money from his successes. The building was named after Longacre Square, which is now Times Square. So the theater's biggest hit was A Bronx Tale in 2016.
Heard of it.
But it's hosted a variety of shows over the years. It's one of the ones. Andy, can you guess which American band popular with millennials has a jukebox musical of sorts that, well, it wasn't there for very long, but was just at the Longacre?
Is it Swept Away
It
by
is
the Avett Brothers?
Swept Away by the Avett Brothers.
Oh, that
New York
guy.
Times critics pick as the most spectacular and captivating new musical on Broadway. A riveting, nail-biting 90 minutes that will blow you away. It's one hell of an adventure. Swept Away on Broadway. Get tickets now.
So you would have had to get tickets because it closed already.
It did. I was keeping up with this actually. I think they extended it for a couple more weeks due to like popular demand / people complaining that, you know, they hadn't kept it on Broadway long enough for people to like see it and realize it was good. And I had some friends who went to see it and said it was really good. And I love the Avett Brothers. I do. But I don't know. It doesn't look that good.
Yeah. After announcing its closure, a 2-week extension was added due to popular demand. And then it set a new closing date for the 29th of December. So
Yeah.
it just closed. So I bet you're asking, though, how does this get us back to baseball, right?
Oh, I was not asking that for sure.
Well, I am because it's in my outline. Well, all the theater successes Harry Frazee had made him start thinking about his old traveling sideshow baseball days. And he's thinking about that with fondness and threw his name around as an interested buyer for a Major League Baseball team, with all this money. He tried to buy the Cubs and the Giants, but it wasn't until 1916 he finally inked a deal to purchase the Boston Red Sox for $675,000. Again, inflation calculator, that's about $20 million.
Wow.
So Frazee purchased the Red Sox in 1916, and he did not have the approval of the then president of the American League, because I think the leagues were still very separate things. And that guy's name was Ban Johnson. Ban Johnson was the founder and a longtime president of the American League. He had significant influence over the league. He ran the AL with an authoritarian approach, personally vetting and approving all team owners. He wanted the control over everything as sort of the kingmaker of the league.
Jerry Jones,
but
Jerry Jones vibe.
league wide.
Got it.
If Adam Silver were Jerry Jones, but for baseball. Johnson had previously worked well with the team's prior owner, Joseph Lannon, and was frustrated that Lannon sold to someone without really fully consulting him, even though it's his choice to do whatever he wants with his team. Ban Johnson disapproved of Frazee's background in New York theater, viewing it as too New York and incompatible with baseball's conservative image. Johnson and others assumed Frazee was Jewish due to his theatrical ties, leading to thinly veiled anti-Semitic remarks about his mystery religion. And he was actually a Presbyterian, and this was all just anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
So Harry Frazee, because of his association with theater, was called a Jew, and that was a bad thing, and he wasn't Jewish.
Wow.
So this was how bad, anti-Semitism was.
Oh yeah, how bad anti-Semitism was, and also how much Jews were involved in the entertainment at the time, because we weren't allowed to do anything else.
So he owns the Red Sox at this point in 1916. That's when he bought it. By 1918, the Red Sox won the World Series. So right away, Frazee actually did what he had planned to do. In 1918, Frazee played a major part in keeping baseball going during World War I by working directly with the U.S. Secretary of War, sort of the green light letter before the green light letter.
Yeah.
Yep. In 1919, we have what will become the inciting incident, finally, for the Curse of the Bambino.
Nice.
And that's the sale of Babe Ruth. So yeah, Babe Ruth, this incredible slugger and pitcher, the best player of all time, was sold from the Red Sox to the Yankees. So you had a little bit of this right with the Yankees. At the time, public opinion was very split over this. The proceeds from the sale did not fund No No Nanette, which is the rumor that everyone says.
Okay.
That premiered in 1925 and had nothing to do with this.
Really?
But a rumor is often said that Frazee sold Babe Ruth to fund No No Nanette.
Now, this is mentioned in an episode of Frasier.
Okay, what is it mentioned there?
It's mentioned as, I believe, Niles is trying to I forget what the exact scenario is, but Niles is trying to show that he has some sports knowledge. So he tells this anecdote. We also need to pause here and briefly talk about No No Nanette, because I don't know why we were focused on this, but there was one night years ago, about a decade ago, where my friends and I were hanging out, and I went to the bathroom, and Facebook was in its heyday at the time, and I left my Facebook account logged in, and my two friends, Danny and Gretchen, posted on my Facebook account that I had been cast as the lead in the Broadway in Chicago production of No No Nanette. I believe that the lead in No No Nanette is middle-aged. I really don't know much about the show, but they had posted that, and I had been in the bathroom, and when I came out, I looked at my phone before I looked at my computer, and I had so many texts congratulating me, people crawling out of the woodwork of
I
my
would be so embarrassed,
because they had put on my Facebook thrilled to announce.
Oh, that's bad.
And it was so embarrassing, and people were texting me, and I had to post a retraction on my Facebook. So No No Nanette is important to me personally, even though I don't know what it's about.
Because you were bullied using it.
Correct.
So in reality, they traded Ruth for other reasons, not No No Nanette.
Okay.
And reasons that any player would actually demand a trade today. It was about salary disputes and Ruth's behavior during those disputes. So I'll have you read just a little bit just to, change up my voice here.
Okay.
This is from Wikipedia.
Ruth forced Frazie's hand by holding out after the 1919 season, demanding $20,000 per year, twice as much as he had been making during the season. During the holdout, he planned other ventures, such as becoming a boxer and going into acting. Frazie was upset over the holdout because he had given Ruth bonuses after both the 1918 and 1919 seasons. Finally, with Ruth's demands so high and after several occasions in which Ruth had already jumped the team, Frazie felt he had no choice but to ship Ruth out.
As for Frazie, before we leave him for now, he sold the Red Sox in 1923 for a huge profit. He then produced No No Nanette, which became one of the biggest financial hits of all time on Broadway. And we should probably do a whole episode on No No Nanette because it's kind of crazy and it probably will intersect with this one. I did want to ask you, what is it about that show?
I actually have no idea. I really don't know.
Because I didn't know it was like one of the biggest profit makers in Broadway history.
It was, but like, you know, it was so long ago that like I don't think people really like are aware of it anymore.
Yeah, okay.
And the title is like very dumb. I don't know what it's about. I think it's a middle-aged woman and I think it's like her like getting her groove back. I actually have no idea.
We'll look into that later.
I'll work on an episode on that.
Great. So Frazie then became a New York socialite, but he died tragically in 1929 due to kidney failure.
Oh no.
At age 48. So like this was a burn bright and quick kind of dude.
Yeah. Well, 1929 wasn't a great year for everybody.
Nope. Okay, so I bet you're wondering, where does the curse of the Bambino come back around here?
Uh-huh.
You're wondering that, right?
I am wondering that now, actually.
And it didn't officially happen until 1986, which was weird to me because I'd always thought of this as sort of a really old thing. And I found this to be shocking because the stewards of the curse story say it goes all the way back to the sale of Babe Ruth in 1919, and it goes something like this. In 1919, the Red Sox sold Babe Ruth, arguably the best player in history, to the Yankees for $100,000. And from that moment on, Boston was cursed. No World Series wins, nothing. While the Yankees went on to become the most dominant team in baseball. Red Sox fans were left with heartbreak after heartbreak. And now, we're going to dive into some of the key moments in the history of the curse of the Bambino. The moments that remind Boston fans and us as, viewers of the curse, of the misery and sort of hilarious tragedy of the misfortunes of the Red Sox over the years.
Okay.
So to make this extra fun, I've written some scenes for us to read. Andi, you'll be playing Matt Damon.
Oh my God.
And I'll take the role of Ben Affleck. We'll do our best stupid Boston accent.
Wait, what?
These will just sort of mark the progress of this thing.
Oh my God. Because they're from Boston?
Because they're from Boston
and
associated with Boston.
All right. My Boston accent is not good.
So you'll be Matt Damon here.
Okay. That makes sense. That's good
casting.
casting.
It's good casting. I'm Ben. So this is this 1919, the sale of Babe Ruth.
Wait. They're selling Ruth? The Babe? To the Yankees?
Oh, sure. What's next? They sell Fenway to pay for Harry Frazie's Broadway flops.
What flop? What's he producing? The guy writes musicals?
Yeah, Maddie. The guy's producing some tap dancing jazz hands nightmare called No No Nanette. Bet Ruth's out of here so Frazie can pay for sequins and saxophones.
Broadway? I thought they were building a baseball team, not a damn chorus line.
Well, enjoy it, Maddie. The Yankees will be winning pennants, and we'll be sitting here singing show tunes.
The only song I'll be singing is No, No, No to this deal. Okay.
So after the sale, the Yankees dominated baseball, winning 27 championships, and the Red Sox, they were stuck in a championship drought that would last 86 years. So Sox fans started seeing patterns, weird sort of gut punch losses that felt just unreal and supernatural. The idea of the curse didn't really come until 1986. So this is like when people looked back at Boston's history, they were like, and there was this, and there was this, and which just makes the curse
the
more
2020
real.
Hindsight of like, wait a minute.
So the first one of those was Eno Slaughter's Mad Dash. They go all the way back to 1946.
This brings up Harry Walker, a timely hitter during the series. Slaughter is off with the pitch. Walker swings and lines a double to left center. Slaughter kept on going, rounding third base at full speed, scoring all the way from first, when the relay throw from Johnny Pesky reached home too late for a play on Slaughter. This important run put the Cardinals out in front by a score of 4-3.
So, it's funny how they look back and they're like, yes, this is where it started. It's like this little like reel tape of them getting beat on a last sort of inning hit.
So at this point, though, Babe Ruth had been like not on the Red Sox since 1919, and that was 1946.
Yeah, this is like way into the future here.
Yeah.
So
I do have a technical question about baseball. What is the purpose of sliding into the base rather than just running?
Oh, so that you can get there without getting tagged or getting around it.
Oh, so like you're making yourself like lower to the ground and like flattening yourself out so you don't get. Okay, I got it.
Yes. It's also safer than running through somebody.
Makes sense.
The next thing was in 1975, Carlton Fisk, this guy for the Red Sox, hit a walk-off home run. And this was like the Red Sox, you're going to finally do it. And then they lost in Game 7. But here's Fisk's home run. That's a popular highlight.
And Fisk will lead it off, has a single and has walked twice. And the wind blowing out. There it goes, a long drive. If it stays fair, home run. We will have a 7th game in this 1975 World Series. A lot of body English for Carlton Fisk. Watch him.
How many steps does he take? 1? He waits to see it. Get over. Get over.
He knew it. There it is.
When you look back at all these highlights and stuff, the lore around it and like Boston and baseball fans is so weighty, but it's just kind of like baseball plays. They're not even as exciting as people remember them.
No,
you know?
I was actually thinking about especially the first one that you showed me that was like really old, like real footage. I was like, this is the kind of thing that would, get like an old guy who loves baseball, like really amp him up. And like, I could watch this specifically to put myself to sleep.
So in 1978, Bucky Dent, this guy who was a light hitting infielder for the Yankees, was not supposed to be able to do anything, hit a home run against the Red Sox to seal their fate in 1978.
Bucky Dent, the batter. Now that they have pinch hit for Doyle, they can ill afford to pinch hit for Dent because you'll run out of infielders. You got Stanley, the only experienced infielder down there on the bench. Dent is 0 for 2. Check swing on a low pitch, ball 1.
He seems so nervous.
He does.
Must bat for himself.
Look how choked up he is on the bat.
He's so choked up on the bat.
Trying to get a quicker swing.
Runners first and second, 2 out. The pitch to him, bouncing ball off his foot. Fouled it down off his foot.
This is like comically bad. He's so nervous.
It's the same foot and
He hit the ball off his foot. There's a whole thing going on with a trainer.
The fact that this is going to result in him scoring a home run is like insane.
Yeah, because he's such a loser here. He's like 0 for 2.
Watching this correctly, they would have given him a pinch hitter, but they couldn't afford to.
Because they don't have any more infielders.
And now Bucky will step back in with a count of 1 ball and 1 strike. Runners at first and second, 2 out. Here in the 7th inning, the Yankees are trailing 2-0.
Just the compulsive, warm-up swings.
Stretched by Torres, the set, the kick, and the pitch. Hit deep to left field. This one may be off the wall, maybe in the screen. Home run for Bucky Dent.
The most improbable.
The best day of that guy's life.
Just in the net, in left field.
And probably nobody was prepared for it because they were like, yeah, this guy.
The dugout has emptied, waiting for Bucky Dent, who has put the Yankees out in front.
Aw, good for Bucky.
It's actually crazy because I didn't really watch the full thing before I queued this up for this episode. And it really makes you realize why people were so shocked that the Red Sox lost that game, because like he was a nobody. He even looked so nervous. He didn't even want to be up. And then he hits a home run. And that's why it's like a key thing of like, how did we let that happen? Because like this guy he couldn't even really hit.
I mean, probably that's crazy. That's so crazy. So wait a minute. In that stadium, if you hit the back green wall, that's
not the back green wall, over the back green wall.
It had to go over.
So it's still there today, and it's relatively short but really tall.
It's the Green Monster, right?
Green Monster.
Yeah, I've heard of this.
Yeah, you can sit on top of it, and it's pretty cool. It's like the one from all the movies about Boston.
You mean Fever Pitch?
I mean the one movie, Fever Pitch. All right, back to the movie scene. You got this one. This is Matt and Ben's scene about Bucky Dent's home run.
Bucky freaking Dent? Guy's hitting 140, Ben.
Dent swings like my ma when she's pissed at Dad and Dad's pissed drunk.
Okay, so in parentheses, if we had a stage manager, they'd read this. Dent hits the homer. Bucky freaking Dent?
That ball rolled slower than a drunk snail and still cleared the wall.
It's the curse, Ben. I'm telling you. It's Ruth smoking a cigar and laughing at us from Yankee heaven.
Yankee heaven doesn't exist, Maddie. It's just hell, but with pinstripes.
Oh.
Okay. So the Red Sox in 1986 made it to the World Series against the Mets. And then this happened.
5-5 in a delirious 10th inning. Can you believe this ball game at Shea?
Oh, brother.
3-2 to Mookie Wilson. Little roller up along first. Behind the bag.
Woo!
It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
Oh
If
my
one
God.
picture is worth 1,000 words, you have seen about 1,000,000 words. But more than that, you have seen an absolutely bizarre finish to Game 6 of the 1986 World Series. The Mets are not only alive, they are well.
And the pitch by Stanley at a ground ball, trickling. It is a fair ball.
Oh, that's devastating.
The Mets win. They win. Unbelievable. The Red Sox in stunned disbelief. A slow ground ball went right through the legs of Buckner down the right field line.
Poor Buckner.
So it was 5-5, they said. So it was going to go on, and they could have won that game, but they then lost the game.
Yeah.
It was going to go to extra innings, but they lost it.
So wait, did it not go to Game 7?
It did, and then they lost. You know, it was 5-5, their best chance to win a World Series after this, and then they lose the game.
I mean, I know the feeling of a ball going right between your legs when you're trying to catch it, because that was me every time I was forced to play softball in any context.
So Bill Buckner is the legendary name. He's the one that actually like codifies the curse, because like I said, not until 1986 was it really considered a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so when this play happened, this was when they were like, okay, it's a thing.
Yeah.
Because you don't just let that go through your legs to lose
Mm-hmm.
another person. So we have another scene here.
It's like a rookie error. One more out, Ben. This is bigger than Oprah giving away cars.
Yeah, Maddie, Sox win. I'm buying you a VCR with 4 heads and stereo sound.
Buckner misses the grounder. What was that?
That ball rode slower than a mall walker at the Galleria.
It's baseball, Buckner, not Tetris.
That play went worse than the Challenger, Maddie. Just exploded right in front of us.
Challenger. Oh my God.
All right.
The references to the particular period of time are pretty amazing.
Thank you. So this is where the term Curse of the Bambino was actually first attached to all of this. It appeared in the San Francisco Chronicle in 1986 in an article that referred to the Sox misfortunes as a curse tied to Babe Ruth.
Got it.
In 1990, Dan Shaughnessy really popularized the actual term when he titled his book The Curse of the Bambino. Shaughnessy's The Curse of the Bambino didn't invent the term, but it made it mainstream, similar to Frazee and Broadway touring, I guess. He linked the Red Sox failures to Ruth's sale and then turned the idea into a cultural narrative for Boston fans. This is the book that changed it all. So yeah, Dan Shaughnessy, only in 1990, was the one who really like popularized Curse of the Bambino.
So I'm obviously Babe Ruth didn't live long enough for him to know that there was a curse named after him.
The curse was all applied later when you could look at, like you said, look back with 20/20 vision and see how all these failures happened. But at that point, it was just like they just hadn't won the World Series in a few years.
Yeah.
You know, because they just won it in 19...
Right. The year before
18,
he got traded in 1918.
So, yeah, like at the time it didn't look that bad.
Yeah.
But in retrospect, when you see that they hadn't won ever,
yeah,
then it was easy to look back and be like, well, best baseball player, let's have a curse.
Oh, for sure.
Be about that.
Yeah.
So
then when you have like a bad week and you like look at your horoscope and you're like, oh, that's why.
Yeah, it's the curse. Yeah. So now we're going to look at the redemption arc.
Okay.
This is 2004 American League Championship Series. This is like the game to go to the World Series. And the comeback begins. The Red Sox are down 3-0 to the Yankees. The Yankees only need to win one more game out of this 7-game series. And we're in Game 4, and it all started with Dave Roberts, who's a coach now, stealing a base to spark hope.
A pinch runner, Dave Roberts, is going to come in for Boston. He can run, picked up from the Dodgers.
So he's going to run after the other guy hits.
Oh, he's going to try to steal second.
First pitch. Roberts is going. Posada's throw. Roberts. Safe.
Wow.
Roberts had a great jump. It was a good ball for Posada to throw on. Good call. Roberts was 38 for 41 in stolen bases. Nearly perfect.
Why are we watching? No team's ever going to come back from 3-0.
Roberts is stealing second. If he does, we win the series. I'm betting my dunking card on it.
Slide, Davey, slide like you're late to church.
Holy shit, he's safe.
The wicked curse is going away, man.
How do you like them apples, Bambino?
Hey, chest bump.
Oh.
Okay, so just to clarify what just happened. Dave Roberts, they said he was a pinch runner. Did he take over whoever was on the base? Okay.
Because he's faster, and then you can steal. Did you know that?
I didn't know that you could do that. You could be like, ooh, we have an opportunity to steal. Let's put the fast guy on the base instead of the guy that's already on the base.
The stealing is you can steal at any time.
That
technically.
I
as they're pitching, he gets a jump and starts going.
Yeah.
And then they try to throw down.
And so that was considered safe, even though the guy, is it because the guy's foot wasn't quite on the base?
No, he just didn't tag him.
He didn't. You have to tag
with
them with the ball.
Case,
okay, gotcha.
In your glove. So.
Got it.
Or in your hand.
And his hand hit the base before the guy was able to tag him.
So they went on to win that series. They came all the way back.
That's crazy.
Crazy. We could show a bunch of highlights. I'm not going to. They come all the way back and they win that series against the Yankees. It's bound to happen. And then they sweep the Cardinals in the World Series, and it finally happens.
The Red Sox are 1 out away.
Joe Buck.
The last chance for St. Louis to extend this game. Back to Folk. Red Sox fans have longed to hear it. The Boston Red Sox are world champions.
That was a very anticlimactic.
Yeah.
It has been 86 years. And for the first time since 1918, the Boston Red Sox are champions of baseball.
2 out in the 9th inning. Here on the banks of the Mississippi River, the Red Sox need 1 more out. Swinging a ground ball, stabbed by Folk. He has it. He underhands to first, and the Boston Red Sox are the world champions. For the first time in 86 years, the Red Sox have won baseball's world championship. Can you believe it? The Red Sox now mobbing Keith Folk and one another.
Oh my God, the fans are losing their minds.
And as Ned Martin said back in 1967, pandemonium on the field.
I really like how those clips show the radio broadcaster, because I grew up listening to Bob Uecker just on a radio. That was how I went to bed most nights, listening to baseball. So
seriously,
yeah, I definitely get goosebumps just hearing those key moments.
That's
and
so
broadcast.
Cute.
It's very cool.
That's so sweet. I remember this feeling when the Cubs won the World Series, or the feeling in the city when the Cubs won the World Series in 2016.
Yep, similar vibe.
Similar vibe because there was the curse of the Billy Goat, which I have a little bit more awareness of than this one. Is this what Fever Pitch starring Jimmy Fallon and Drew Barrymore deals with?
Yep.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Because there's a lot of drama in the curse and their relationship.
Yes.
So the Red Sox swept the Cardinals, winning the World Series, and we'll do one little final scene here.
Okay. Ben, 1 more out and it's over. Curse is gone, and I can pay off the Trans Am.
The curse is gone. Wait, you bet on this?
Yeah, I got a guy who knows a guy with a guy in Vegas.
Wow, it's a lot of guys to get to one guy.
Final out happens. Well, anyway, I sold the freaking washer, and I bet $350 on the Sox with the spread, and we doubled up.
You sold the freaking washer?
New kind of money laundering. We did it. We're champs, Ben. Freaking champs.
Give me a bloody, no scratch that. Give me Kurt Schilling's bloody sock, and get this guy a new Whirlpool while you're at it. So we didn't talk about that, but Kurt Schilling, the pitcher, had a famous moment where he was bleeding in his ankle and his sock was all bloody.
Oh.
And they were like, oh, look at how tough he is pitching through that bloody sock.
Okay. Drama.
Yeah. So it's tempting to look back at the curse of the Bambino as a fun myth, a convenient way to explain decades of frustration. But maybe the truth is simpler. Baseball, like life, is full of highs and lows, and sometimes the stars just don't align. What made the 2004 victory so sweet wasn't the curse, it was the belief that no matter how long it took, their time would come. For nearly a century, Boston fans clung to their team through heartbreaks, close calls, through the Bucky Dent, Bill Buckner, Carlton Fisk homer that didn't matter, and decades of watching the Yankees win, win, and win. And the curse was never really about Babe Ruth. It was about the city's relentless determination to keep believing, even when it seemed absurd.
Don't stop believing.
Yeah. So, Andy, what do you think about all this? And what do you think about curses in sports?
Well, I don't know that I think that they are real because there's so many factors, as I've learned over the last nearly 2 years, that go into why a team would win or lose. Also, I've said this before, people can't seem to get on board with the reality that like when you play a game, one team wins and one team loses.
Yeah.
It's literally how it works. I think it's fun. I like lore. I like lore and stories and like fun little things to get involved in. I did love the movie Fever Pitch. I have watched it a number of times because I like Drew Barrymore and Jimmy Fallon's fine in it. I mean, I don't think the curse is real. I didn't think the curse of the Billy Goat was real necessarily, but I like the story and I like how invested people get in it. I will say like I've been like vaguely aware of the Curse of the Bambino over time. I didn't realize that the Yankees won so many while the Red Sox were losing.
The Yankees had a lot of championships over that time.
I loved your Matt and Ben moments. That was so funny.
Well, thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed the episode, we have a Patreon.
We do. Over there, we do extra things like reversal episodes where I tell Jim about theater or arts and culture topics. We just did Bridget Jones's Diary, and before that we did The Music Man revival starring Sutton Foster and Hugh Jackman. So feel free to join us over there if you're interested.
Yep. And we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
I gotta go write a math problem on
the
fridge.
Don't do it, Maddie. Don't do it. Otherwise, you're gonna be too good for us.
Do 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 do.